Kennedy Akompreku Agyapong. Now Kennedy is still on his campaign. Currently, things don't look really good for him. In a way, say the way Tanaka in Japan air carry in 2023 just all moving from one place to the other. No, and then we've seen all Ken can do. Now the momentum, global info analytics, the momentum is not rising in favor of Ken. It's like he's kind of stagnant. Maybe a one or war. Meanwhile, he's still on his campaign trailer or the same be Akwako Tuja. Now, Yebisa and second in Japan. Abain ba na abain hufro bi aba almost set the anti-corruption tax board any idea to tackle corruption. In Yebisa in Japan, so honorable Obabaka and now say Ube president. Would you bring or institute such a tax force? And Ken Japan's answer really struck a nerve. Why? Because Ken is saying he's not going to do any galamsey anti-corruption tax board. And the thing is, if you're not going to do any anti-corruption tax board, how on earth, as a president, are you going to know one usika bibia enye? Because now see who say Ken Japan, no, they be okasa or say he likes the style of your friend is Ibrahim Traore. Well, in fact, Yenko T in Sama on Rankasa edituja about this whole issue. Your babaka it for a better house because if Ken is not going to institute your friend is anti-corruption board, then at the end of the day, how is he going to know the people who are stealing? Your video your babaka.
Anti-corruption system, no. As a and say, oh yeah, Ira Kennedy Obia on so dream dear as a shepherd, you can't say. Nano Francois about say, what can in the name cry say, a fatness as your bet not. Shraj or Yoko or Office of the Special Prosecutor or strong anti-corruption structures being and I'll be introduced here. Dream dear,
you see, a year wabubonina no. A anti-corruption structures. But you need to enforce it. Make them know, say, oh, Chaki Obi, na se nipa no afam, o di Ghana sika, na wo fetchire ko jiska, o me jeli first. And sa na nipa no cry nenedi. When they begin to know and realize, say, adiena me no, my life is on the line. Mi di agura, yedimbe tumwa, he will do the right thing. So we only need to enforce all the structures now to do the right thing. You don't need to create more EBR. But it will be a relax. Relax. Me, your boys back home, my fire no. Na a Covota region or Sika. I kona back no. Wa managing ye na essay. Inti yese omun josu kakra omunia odikum ye kodru Volta region enioma e wo se wode ba ni station ni director kra frame say osremi ameni abrantie ne nkasa si we too bad mayi nadi me ba boy ne de ne bai ono gina ho no me ka kire no be se crash ono ade ne bai me mayi nadi wo anyi nadi a wan kasa so don't follow the you know. Yeah. No, my dim prince. So on an TV station or man ever. May I mean whatever I say. On the mammy na me womodi. Bisano. Yeah, on the mammy. Miss any mammy in cotton fee. Sikabia or G a month no. As soon as he measures so, we are on fast escanama. But unya ejumana. We also, Mr. Crashy, on an ejuma doors. Oh, business is be. Oh, your business, I feel no be born business. Me be born business. Na me die ni gu. Na say unu ya ma wo wo de wo we ye engine of yi wa begina so e de ayi adwuma nyame aboa wo. Utumi ye adwuma firim. Na me de me protective for unu ya ma. Ni me yi no. But sell a do kro ho. Edu ba bi no ho kira na ye consult. But only control you.
Oh, okay.
No, Ghana, no cray.
So that is the man of the moment, Kennedy Akompreku Agyapong chess. This whole anti-corruption tax board and tax force, if the people itself, because Nipani himself, yeah, obe fire na. For instance, Pinas I say, himself obey Juma late. Unimisa at the end of the day, you are truant. Unimisa, you are not doing what is right, and they will fire you. Your employer, you know, say if you go against the rules, you'll be fired. So there's no need for Pinas once again to set an anti-corruption tax board. And I say, friend is saying work ethics board. I'm be share ejuma nkrofo ye. I don't know ye na wan ye ni ya. You are fired. And you have fini be for committee debi. Nye bisa. Do you know you've broken the rule this and this rule 2A B C debi fired straight. That is exactly what King Agyapong is saying. Now on this same issue of corruption, Dominic Ayini Ako Parliament to happen to be the current Attorney General. Now he was also speaking on the issue about the current arrest at Aircoso. Let's say Yache boss CEO. Bail conditions 100 million 50 million to me near the other and on Attorney General Dominic Ayini as justifies these bail conditions are they impose on these government appointees. So it is very necessary because Iyoko and other relevant state institutions these bail conditions allows them to have your friend is oversight. Now, who's okay, if it is the right process or not, and more so, and now moreover, at the end of the day, you beat me make sure say bail conditions, you beat me offset it. Now, after the whole court case, you beat me offset. Now, say you state the bet here can any pan you born $100 million with Jania bail conditions and an amount or the bars we beat my tongue near the state. So this is exactly what he's saying. He said, and yes, I buying a shed what I say, and almost setting low bail conditions for certain people and making others, your friend is saying, on bail conditions high. Yenku teen sama Dominic Ayini Edituja on this same corruption issue, and I can echo 17.
Mr. Speaker, I have already made it abundantly clear that the Economic and Organized Crime Office and other law enforcement agencies under my ministry are not acting arbitrarily. Bail depends on the crime, the gravity of the crime. And so what we are seeing now is that the sums involved in the criminal investigations are very huge. And because they are very huge, if you set very low bail conditions in terms of the sums, the likelihood is that when the person, the suspect escapes or is unavailable to stand trial, whatever you are able to extort in justification will not be able to offset the sum that is involved, the criminal liability that is involved. So, for instance, if you have a situation where the suspect is accused of, let's say, causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 1 billion Ghana cedis, or stealing in the sum of 31.1 million Ghana cedis, you cannot set bail terms that are, unjustifiably low. So it is the magnitude of the offenses we are dealing with that dictates that we set bail sums that reasonably justify the crimes that have been committed or alleged to have been committed.
So that was in Sema a year Dominic Ayini Edituja. Now on this same vein too, there's something which is really going on in Ghana. Now I say obete ahemfo nsem bebre. Obete na no ye mamo abdi se kokwewu a ye kwewu kwe madania de no ye ko abduction na police fo bi ekoyi omo. Aside from that too mampon he no so resign. Say in some ne koso na ekoso te say ibi mu kra de bomu tu ku omo na the report ebrel say Eastern region ho baby obi ko ball pa say yenkoku ohene ene kwe mada. Now, the reason why these things are very prevalent in our society is because most of them, they have authority, and I said they're able to freely carry guns. For events be bria to say, pay. Celebration near botu near their celebration but then the day say to na omu vie mo dey celebrate say to na so omu di ku omu ho a omu ebi mo edidi bone. And because of that the Minister of Interior Muntaka Mubarak Kwababe announced say from now to the next 6 weeks they are banning all ahemfo kingdoms wine from using and even holding guns. We don't know the reason why, but you could see in some Interior Minister Edituja, Babaka, Yebetuaso.
Temporary ban on the use of firearms in traditional celebration. And this is something that is so important to us. We've engaged all our regional ministers and we've tasked our regional ministers to get all our regional House of Chiefs and our opinion leaders and chiefs to know, whilst this amnesty lasts, it doesn't really matter whether what you have is licensed or not. We just want to silence the gun in this 6 weeks. So during funeral, during festivals, all the celebration, we just don't want to see any gun there. And we are putting in very vigorous measures. And we don't want to have any confrontation with any traditional authority. Please bear with us and let us be able to streamline these illicit arms that are in our hands. Many of us will attest to the fact we all know that it is this gunpowder that were usually used at celebration. Today, at these celebrations, you see pump action, you see pistols. In some instances, we even see AK-47 and G3s being bundled at funerals, at other ceremonies. We are saying that during these 6 weeks, it doesn't really matter whether it is gunpowder, whatever it is, please bear with us and observe the ban, because we are going to enforce this vigorously, and we do not want to have any confrontation with any traditional authority.
So that was in Sema, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak, or the